Hello, welcome to my channel and thanks for tuning into this video. Today I'm creating this really glam makeup look with a grungy eye and a really pale lip. I just had this idea in my head that I wanted to do a makeup look like this, so I thought I'd sit down and do it in front of the camera. So if you'd like to see how I put this look together, just keep on watching. Okay, I have my foundation and concealer and a little bit of powder on already. I've used the Chanel Sublimage foundation. This is the shade BD01. And I chose this for a couple of reasons because the finish is really good, I think, for what I'm going for today. It's slightly satiny, a little bit glowy, but still pretty natural finish. And also the color of it really sort of fit the idea that I was going for today. It's a golden undertone shade, but still very fair. But I find when I wear a slightly golden undertoned foundation shade, it has the effect of almost just looking a little bit more makeup-y. And you might think, well, why would you want that? Usually I don't want my makeup to look makeup-y in that way. But I think that for this look, I'm going for a pretty glam and sort of dramatic makeup look. So I think that that effect is gonna suit this look pretty well. I have the Luminous Silk Concealer, the shade 2, and this shade just matches really well, I find, with that foundation. So I thought that would be a good choice. Also, the finish is sort of along the same lines as that Chanel foundation. And for powder, I just used a little bit of the Kosas Cloud Set powder. And I like this because it allows your glow to be maintained, but it still sets down your makeup a little bit and can smooth things out just a little bit. So it's a really, really great powder. And I want to go in with bronzer now. So I'm going to be using the Westman Atelier bronzer. This is the lighter shade, Coup de Soleil. And I'm using my Sonia G Classic Face brush with it. And this is a darker bronzer, but I really love it. I love the effect that it gives. And if you watched my Westman Atelier brand overview video last week, I talked about this there as well. But I find that this can give a contoured effect even without using contour. So that's why I think it's really perfect for this more dramatic look that I'm doing. And I'm not so much going for maintaining my pale skin tone. I mean, my skin is still gonna look pale, and I'm not using like a super dark base makeup or anything, but I'm just not so concerned about preserving the pale, cool undertones with this look. It's just more of a bronzy look overall. You might be able to hear the wind. It's extremely windy today, and so the wind's blowing against the house. And I might put more bronzer on later, but let's get on to the eyes. I'm going to be using the Natasha Denona Glam palette, but I'm also going to be using this Givenchy Ombré Couture. I don't know if they make these anymore. I don't think Sephora has them anymore, but it's like a really sort of dry cream shadow. And this one that I have here is, I'll list the shade name below. I can't see it on here, but it's sort of a taupey brown shade. So this is going to be my base for the eye look. And I'm taking my soft shader from Sonia G and just loading that up on the brush, patting out my concealer, and pretty much putting it all over my eyelid. Not putting it so much on the lower part, though I don't mind if it gets on there, but I'm focusing it more on the crease and the transition area. You can see the shade just gives quite a natural looking shadow. And I like it because it's kind of a grungy shade, and I am going for a grungier eye look today. So I'm making sure that the shadow gets into the inner portion of the eye as well. And I'm just using the same brush, same shadow, and I'm gonna go under on my lower lash line. And sweeping it all the way around, not even avoiding the inner corner. Now I'm ready to move on to my powder eyeshadows and ready to get into the Glam palette. So I'm taking my classic crease from Sonia G, and I'm gonna take this shade Blend right here and put it all over my crease and transition area. Then I'm taking the mini booster into the same shade Blend and putting it on the lower lash line and pulling it all the way around the eye. Now I'm kind of wanting to do this in a halo eye shape. So I want some depth on the outer and inner corners. And I think I'm gonna go with crease first, and then I'm probably gonna go into smoke as well. But first, just taking the mini booster into crease and seeing what that's gonna do. It's just a little bit of a cooler tone than Blend. They're sort of within the same range in terms of their depth. But because it's cooler, it's gonna bring a little bit more shadow. So concentrating that on the outer and inner corners, and then just sort of blending what's left through the crease. Okay, I like that, but I do want a bit more depth, so I'm gonna go into smoke, same brush, and basically doing the exact same thing with that. And it's just given me a bit more depth. Now I want to concentrate that even more, so I'm taking the flat definer. I'm gonna mix together smoke and crease, focusing more on smoke though, and just really defining the outer V and then the inner V. Okay, now with the same brush, the flat definer, I'm going to take crease again and pull that along the outer part of the lower lash line. And I'm going to put a little bit of it also on the inner part of the lower lash line, not really in the inner corner, but pretty close to it. And then I just want a bit more blend down below, so I'm going to take the blend shade on this flat definer and just pretty much go over everything on the lower lash line. And then I want to take my classic crease again into blend and do the same on the lid. Okay, for the main lid color, I think I'll go with this center eyelid. It's kind of a gold shade, and I'm just gonna take it on my finger. That's what it looks like, kind of a champagne gold, and just put it right in the middle of the eye. All right, I like that on the center of the eye, and I'm gonna put the same color on my inner corner. I want a bit of contrast there and a little bit of lightness, but I don't want it to be too highlighted. Then I'm gonna take this other center eyelid shade right there, and I'm gonna put that in the middle of the lower lash line. Taking some of that same center eyelid shade that I put on the lower lash line and just patting it right through the center of the metallic on the lid. Okay, and now I need a bit of a liner on my lash line, so I'm going to take the lash line shade, same flat definer, and just kind of press this along the lash line. Okay, the eyes are all finished, so I ended up playing around a little bit more, and I took out two of my Victoria Beckham lid lustres, the honey one and the mink one, and I just really lightly used my finger and went into the honey and went over where I had the center eyelid shades. And then I went with the mink and really lightly tapped over the two darker edges of the eyes. And then I put a little bit of honey on the inner corner over top of that metallic, and then also over top of the metallic that I had on my lower lash line. And then I just did my waterline liner. I used the Chantecaille Jasper liner, and I did my mascara, which was the Gucci black mascara. And now to finish up the rest of the face, I am going to do another little dusting of the bronzer, just to get that real, see that does almost look contoured there, real kind of contoury effect. Okay, and I think even for this look, even I might be okay with going without blush with this look, but I do want a little bit of blush, and I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk blush. It's been quite a while since I've used this, but it's a really great nude, pinky, brownie type of color. I'm just gonna swirl the two shades together on my soft cheek and just bring that little bit of color onto the apples of the cheeks. And I'm taking my smooth buffer with nothing on it and just buffing over the cheeks a little bit. Okay, and I don't think I'm gonna pull out a separate highlighter, but maybe I'll just throw a little bit of the center shade from the Pillow Talk on as my highlighter. I don't want a really strong highlight, so that's fine. I think just a touch of luminosity. And for the lips, I want to go for a really pale nude lip. So I'm going to take my Anywhere Caffeine liner from Makeup Forever and outline the lip with that. Pull it into the corners of the lips. And then my lipstick is the Charlotte Tilbury Kim KW. This is a really light sort of peachy pinky nude shade. And I love using this anytime I want to lighten up a lipstick or nude it out a little bit. So I normally use it as a mixing shade, but I think for this look I'm going for, this works kind of on its own with just a liner. And then now that I have the lip on, I like to just kind of look at the face overall and see, do I need any more blush or any adjustments needed? So I am going to put a little bit more of the blush on. And this is the completed look. So I really had this image in my mind of this sort of grungy eye with a really pale lip that I wanted to do. So I hope that you enjoyed watching me create this look. It was really, really fun to play around with it and create this more dramatic look. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to see them below. If you would like to see more from me and you haven't subscribed yet, I would love for you to do so. Thank you again so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.